What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the newest leak that God of War Ragnarok, God of War, whatever you want to call it, is going to be having gameplay shown at the next Sony show. Now, I want to talk about a couple things regarding this because we've heard, obviously, about God of War in the past in terms of it going to be at this next Sony event. So PlayStation Experience, future gaming show, they have a couple different names they could absolutely throw out there. But last we heard about God of War is that we were going to get a new trailer. Quite a few people, two that I can at least name offhand, have said that, this is what's going to happen, right? That they're at least going to have a new trailer for the game at the next PlayStation show, which I think already is enough to get people very, very excited. I think it's enough to, actually, I think it's enough just in general, right? Where if they showed it and that was all they showed, I think it would be more than fine. Now, from Shepshal Nick, and I know I maybe don't even always say that name right. We've talked about him in the past. He gets quite a bit of stuff right. He said, I'm being told we'll see our first gameplay of the new God of War at Sony Show 2. Will be exciting to see. And this sent the internet pretty much on fire yesterday on a weekend. He had to drop this on a weekend, but that's okay. That's okay, right? So that's kind of the next piece to the puzzle. So honestly, there's two parts of this. Number one is regarding God of War, and then number two is regarding the PlayStation event, what I think it means. So I want to talk about both. We'll start again for God of War. I mean, I think it's only a good thing, right? It's, again, to show a trailer would be more than fine. Now, could it be a gameplay trailer? Sure. But, I mean, where we're at, I guess, with God of War, I would have imagined it would be a very cinematic style trailer, right? For the first, I mean, we technically already have one, but I'd argue maybe that doesn't even count, right? Where we would see several things play out. I don't know if we'd be at the point where the first trailer we see would be a mix of both like cutscenes and then gameplay. So it could very well be where we get a trailer and then maybe they show us a couple minutes of gameplay, almost like if you put, say, Horizon, how they did, obviously last year, they did the trailer, and then, about a year later, they showed extended gameplay for, quite a long time in that state of play. I don't know if they would show that much for God of War, but if they did kind of what they did with Horizon, but both back to back, at their show, okay, whenever that show is, that would be, that I guess maybe that's kind of what I'm predicting. I don't know if it would be all in one trailer. So that, again, I mean, no matter what they show, I think it's going to get people very, very excited. I think it affirms, I guess it brings with it confidence, right, that the game is still going okay. I don't really think anybody thought the game was going bad, but, it was supposed to come out in 2021. Obviously, they delayed it. I said, I don't believe they ever once thought it could come out in 2021. Obviously, they've said they did. I mean, if you just listen to what they, and I'm not saying which one to believe, but, they've said they really did think it could come out this year. That's what they were planning on, and then they pushed it. I don't know. I don't really see this game as a first quarter, first third of next year, but I'd love to be proven wrong. I mean, if this game came out March or April next year, I'd love it. At this point, I'm kind of expecting it late next year. But again, I mean, if I'm wrong, I will absolutely take that L, a big L. You know what I mean? And then the other thing that I thought was pretty interesting, and I believe, I don't know if it's exactly what I tweeted, but honestly, it's the first thing I thought of, is kind of where there's smoke, there's fire. And what I mean by that is, over the last week or so, we've continued to hear more and more and more about this supposed PlayStation event, right? Again, if you actually go back to before E3, we heard about the God of War trailer. That was one of the first ones. Final Fantasy kind of being talked about was one of the first things. So there's things that have been kind of mentioned that maybe would be a Sony event, maybe wouldn't be, right? But then recently, if you just, I don't actually remember the date, but let's say Wednesday, this past Wednesday, let's say in the last week, we've had the Ghost of Tsushima spin-off game, Ghost of Ikishima, right? And I don't know, or Ikishima, however you want to, pronunciate that last half of it. We got that kind of leaked. We don't know for sure, obviously, if it's real. Well, we'd find out, I assume, at the PlayStation event, but that's a big deal thing. That could honestly be that's just a major game that would be announced there, right? So we heard that less than a week ago, and now, and yes, there's obviously a big thing coming about this, and it came basically from one guy on Twitter. I understand that, and again, that's why you have to take these things with a grain of salt. No knocking on Sony Santa Monica's doors if things don't happen, right? But and again, I think the overall point is, in less than a week, we've gotten word on the street of a Ghost of Tsushima spin-off game, and now we hear about God of War gameplay. So what does that mean? Well, to me, it means these things are kind of piling up, right? We heard a lot about it before Ratchet and Clank, before E3, but now that, the dust has settled and we're moving past it, now we've heard two big, maybe the biggest things that would be shown at Sony's event or PlayStation, whatever the event name is going to be. We've heard 2 big things talked about in just the last week. Less. A lot of people think it's July 8th, right? We talked about that earlier last week, right, about a week ago. So things are starting to kind of, like, they're starting to build up. And as I said, if it is going to be July 8th, you should probably announce it soon. I know I myself won't be very happy if they announce it July 6th, July 7th, and the past events, they have given 5-6 days notice. I think 6 days is how much they gave notice of the last 2 events. So, if it is July 8th, this upcoming week, I would expect them to say something. Tuesday, the 29th, 30, the 1st of July, somewhere in that range, to say, hey, July 8th. If it doesn't happen, then maybe next week or the next full week, right, the full week after July 4th, maybe that's when they announce it, and then it's the week after or 2 weeks later. Obviously, the biggest point is it's right around the corner. I think so. I really think so, because these things are starting to build up, and they're building up kind of quickly. So I don't think the event is in like 2 months away, if people even thought that, right? I don't think it's late August. I don't think it's September. I think, it's going to be in July. I think it's like right around the corner. It's just kind of when, right? And we'll have to see this week, right? Tomorrow, or I guess today when you guys are watching this, I'm recording this on Sunday. When you guys, today, as we're all watching this, right? Does something else get leaked? Tomorrow, do they announce it, right? So big things, I think, ahead. So I'm very excited. I think Sony has potential to absolutely crush it at this event. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, make sure, if you haven't already, you guys are subscribed, bell icon, leave a like. Follow me over on Twitter if you haven't already. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Link is always in the description below. Obviously, I'll be covering the event massively. I'll be doing predictions videos leading into it. Depending on the day that it happens, I'd like to co-stream it. It depends on if I'm here or if I'm visiting family, and then there'll be videos right after. So there's loads of coverage on this event on this channel. So again, make sure you guys are sticking with us, and I hope to see you guys on the future videos.